Hello and welcome to the BS Academy channel. I want to talk about single candlestick patterns, and in this video we are going to examine 4 of them, and I will explain to you that if these candles are in the middle of the trend, it will be a continuation sign, and if they are at the top or bottom of the trend, that is, if they are at the end of a bullish trend or at the end of a downward trend, they are a sign of a trend change. But the possibility of changing the trend is very high, but well, this may not happen, and this is completely normal. Before I start the explanation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and introduce it to your friends. Well, the first pattern that I want to explain is a candle called shooting star, which looks like a candle with a relatively weak and small body. And the upper shadow is long. In fact, the length of the upper shadow should be more than twice the length of the candle body, and the lower shadow does not exist or is too small. So the shooting star pattern is such that the candle body is weak and small, and the upper shadow is at least twice the size of the candle body, and the lower shadow is very small or does not exist at all. Well, of course, the chart is not as clean and clear as the slides you see here, and I also took a series of photos of the chart that I will show you at the end of the video. However, if we consider this as an uptrend, I didn't put any shadow for these candles because it doesn't matter, we have an uptrend, and if a shooting star pattern appears here, again, note that it must be at the end of the uptrend. Okay, so for example, here we have a resistance line. And if this pattern is at the end of an upward trend, there is a possibility of a trend reversal, which means the trend will change and become a downward trend. And it doesn't matter if it has a lower shadow or not. And also, I'll set the color of this pattern here to white, because the color of this pattern has no effect on its function. It means that a green candle or a red candle can be placed here, and in both cases the trend will be reversed, of course. If it is red, it is more valid, but if it is green, it still works, and there is not much difference. Well, the next pattern that I want to look at is not much different from the shooting star pattern in terms of appearance. This pattern is called the inverted hammer, which looks exactly like the shooting star. As you can see, a candle with a weak body and a long upper shadow. And at the bottom of the candle there is no shadow, or it is very short. The only difference with the shooting star is that inverted hammer occurs in a downtrend, that is, at the end of a downtrend. And the trend changes to an upward trend. Actually, it is only in terms of the position of this candle that the name of this pattern is changed. In fact, it is not much different from shooting star. If this pattern is placed at the top of the trend, it will be called shooting star. And if it is placed at the bottom of the trend, it will be called, it is an inverted hammer, and its color does not change its function. But if it is green, it will be more valid. Well, the next pattern that I want to explain is a pattern called the hanging man. The appearance of this pattern is exactly the opposite of the shooting star. That is, a candle with a weak and small body. But there is no upper shadow, or it is very short, and the lower shadow is at least twice the size of the candle body. As you can see, I showed this pattern in white, which means that the color of this pattern has no effect on its work. The hanging man pattern is formed at the end of an uptrend. That is, we will see it at the top of the trend, and it works exactly like the shooting star, and it causes the trend to reverse downward. And as I said about the shooting star, this pattern is more valid if it is red, but it still works if it is green. Well, the next pattern is also a pattern that is exactly the same as the hanging man. This pattern is called a hammer, which looks exactly like the hanging man. That is a candle with a weak and small body, whose lower shadow is at least twice the size of the body, and there is no upper shadow, or it is short. But the difference with the hanging man is in their location. That is, the hammer pattern is placed at the end of a downward trend and causes the trend to turn upward. And again, the color of the hammer has no effect, but if it is green, it will be more valid. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Stay tuned for the next one.